this doesn't mean an official channel when you're tweeting and stuff, but it does certainly create confusion. Now, what impact does that confusion have? What consequences do those confusing situations have?
Well, when you're using social media and the entire world can follow what you're doing, you're really making a commitment to those messages. Now, diplomacy has some advantages when it is conducted privately initially. It is not as transparent that way, but world leaders and diplomats more generally need to have conversations that are not necessarily exposed to the public, to get their priorities in order, to make deals that they need to make, and so on. When you look at some of the major negotiations over the past few years, such as the United States negotiations with Cuba, the negotiations with Iran, the negotiations within NATO, it's hard to imagine those being less effective than they are when they're done just off the cuff through Twitter. The most recent connection between President Trump, for example, and the North Koreans, did he just do that on the spur of the moment? Well, negotiations between the United States and North Korea are a very serious matter. And to have just sort of this casual conversational exchange on Twitter, first of all, it can raise expectations throughout the world unrealistically, and also it can easily commit the United States to a position that, in the long run, the American government does not really want to adopt.
But the interesting point is that many analysts are claiming that the fact that it might come off as being off the cuff allows expectations to be minimal if nothing comes out of this meeting.
Well, if you want to keep expectations minimal and accomplishments minimal, I suppose that's okay. But it's really, if you're interested in the long-term relationship, again, for example, between the United States and North Korea, there are other ways to do this, and it probably shouldn't even involve the president, at least initially. It should be done by diplomats who devote their careers to forging agreements that are going to last. This is basically diplomacy, not just by social media, but diplomacy by photo opportunity.